Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Making 3. And I'm back with part 2 of What If Minato and Kushina had 3 godly children, guys. Remember to get this one too. 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels if you're new. Yes, I indeed have 3 more channels which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. All the links will be down in the description. Also, if you have an idea and you want it to be done by me, simply go ahead and comment your ideas down in the comments and I'll jot them down for future use. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode? Let us begin now, guys. So, the last part that we left off, we get to see the start of it all. 3 children, first starting with Naruto. A simple sneeze could cause what seemed like a hurricane. And that was just the beginning of it all. After that, we get to see more detail of their life. Their home was nearly destroyed on countless occasions due to the children always horsing around or moving a bit too fast. They were incredibly special, beyond the definition of special, beyond the definition of normal. We also get to see the past, when the Nine Tails was almost released. But the masked man who tried to use the children was nearly eviscerated by the 3 of them just crying to show that they were indeed something special. They saved maybe Kushina, maybe the entire village on that night when that masked man had arrived. We get to see them playing in the forest when they were 6 years old, tussling with animals that could kill a normal man rather easily, and yet they tossed them around. When they sparred, they end up destroying training fields, they wreckage place. But despite all of that, they still fear their parents rather well, as when their mother showed up, they ran. Because she was terrifying to them, yes she was. As time went by, we get to see them adapting and learning more. Their father teaching them how to better keep control because he didn't want the world coming after them before they were ready. And if people were to find out about them too soon, everyone would have them on the chopping block, wanting to know exactly what they were. How did they do what they do? As they head to the San Wen, Minato Namikaze aid the son of the Kazekage. It was Gaara. When they quickly became friends with the Sand siblings, it was Naruto that offered Gaara a helping hand and became his first friend. With the seal fixed, Gaara became different, not to mention his siblings started to approach him even more, which was better for everyone. Yes, it was. As more time passed by, Jiraiya arrived, having been popping in and out. He remembered the Toad prophecy rather well, but he did not know if it applied right here because there was 3 of them. Yes, there was 3 of them. And 3 of them were ridiculously powerful, like unusually powerful. We get to learn how their power worked. You see, they were some sort of singularity, which doesn't happen often. It was 1 in a million, not 3 in a million, so this should not be a possibility. But it was Minato and Kushina genes coming together to create something perfect. Instead of releasing chakra, their body conserved chakra and forced it into their cells, which then duplicated and reinforced their body, which proceed to duplicate and keep on going back and forth, which made them stronger on the inside, which made them grow without any restrictions, any bounds. which offer them durability like a tank, which offer them speed like a lightning, and strength like a mountain crashing. Yes, they were indeed special. That was until Danzo decided to make a move. Danzo decided to find out what was Minato Namikaze hiding, so he decided to pull a little attack on them all. 3 bandits came after them. Not your ordinary or normal bandit, they were more powerful than your normal threat. It was on that day that the children lost their innocence as they killed for the first time. It was an accident. They didn't mean to kill them, but they slipped. They lost control. And in doing so, they stained the ground red with blood, showing just how powerful they were, giving Danzo an insight into truly how powerful they were, which made him extremely happy. As we get to see time pass by, as they learn to accept what they did, we also get to see that, well, they weren't right in this world. Their very existence was an anomaly. One was normal, but having 3 of them was something crazy. It started to cause chain reactions all over, nature trying to correct itself. As something happened, far away we get to see a woman with Byakugan eyes, and at the same time at the elemental nation, a seal that has held for years was destabled by the children's existence, releasing something but not as it was anymore. A young girl, which should be much older. The world was setting up to be something truly tragic and terrifying. So yeah, that was basically last, but I thought you guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourselves as we begin this new episode. The sky was wrong. An hour ago it was grey, but now lightning was being pulled together with something that had nothing to do with weather. Yes, this wasn't weather. Reiga Kurosaki stood at the edge of the cliff, twin Kiba blades in both hands as he screamed. "You think you're a monster," he said. There was actually tears coming from his eyes. Reiga was a complicated man who did some truly unusual things. His voice seemed to release small cracks in the ear. It was a thunderclap, it was a lightning that crackled up his hand, showing the control that he had with those 2 blades, becoming a single point of destruction. He had been one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, which mean that he had been terrifying before tonight. The legendary Kiba blades in his grip, to channel power that could split the heavens themselves. An exaggeration maybe, but given the amount of power he was currently conserving and pulling together, this wasn't going to be normal. As he pulled all of that power in, pulling the power from the natural raw nature of things. "Let me show you a real monster," he said. He released it. An energy blast. It wasn't normal. It was like a wall of destructive lightning shocks racing across the cliff edge. The cost of this was tremendous on him, but he did not care. As stone vaporized, it ignited the very air itself. Everything in a wave of destruction was being erased as he pushed it further and further. In the vicinity of this was one person. Behind them though, far away, her eyes widened in fear. She screamed, "Naruto!" She had pink hair, green eyes. Her name was Sakura Haruno as she screamed out his name. However, it was too late. The wave of force hit with an unnatural, crushing blast. The place turned completely into white, swallowing everything. Reiga was done. Not dead, but he couldn't fight. He couldn't fight anymore. Not forever, but he needed time. His arms were numb. His legs were numb. He had used too much power, but it doesn't matter. This brat, he just kept on getting up. The smoke started to move though. The dust started to settle. Reiga looked. As Naruto started to walk, he started to walk. The area that he was standing a moment ago was completely fine. Not even a single scratch. All around him was destroyed but that singular circle that he was standing. Nothing happened to it. The lightning had curled away from him like it didn't want to be touched because it didn't. Naruto's body had absorbed the energy. Yes, he absorbed it and held it in. Even now as we speak, he was holding it. He looked towards Reiga. Reiga looked at him. That's not... How? Reiga said, trying to get an explanation. Naruto just kept on walking, not running, not jogging. The look on his face though. As Naruto was not happy. I try. Every mission. I try not to go over the edge. I try not to use everything I have. I try. Over and over again. Because with great power comes great responsibility. My parents told me that on several occasions. Reiga tried to move back but he could not. His body was still numb. But people like you, said Naruto, as he stopped a few feet away. Naruto was physically shaking. People like you. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve second chances. You don't deserve mercy. Naruto raised his hand. You want to see real lightning, he said. Let me show you. All of that energy along with his shoot into the sky. Immediately the heavens clear. It was like a blade splitting the clouds open, allowing the rays of sunshine to descend upon them. Naruto then clenched his fists. In the heavens above them, something took shape. Reiga looked up and what he saw shocked him. A hand, large enough to cover the top of the cliff that they were on. Like a celestial being reaching down. The hand was created purely from lightning to drop down on him. There was nowhere to go even if he could go somewhere. There was nowhere to run. Die, said Naruto. Sakura's eyes widened. The mountain top ceased to exist. The sound came after the light. An enormous rolling explosion that shook the ground for kilometers in every direction. It was vaporized. Sakura had closed her eyes, afraid that it was over. However, what she felt was being caressed, something holding her. She slowly opened her eyes. There she was. Naruto was holding her bridal style. She was unharmed, having absolutely no idea how he was able to move from one place to another so quickly. It's okay, he said. It's okay. She believed him as she leaned into his touch. She just stared, having absolutely nothing to say. When they got down to the bottom, as he placed her down, what was that, she said. She was not accusing, just asking. I've seen you train, I've seen you on missions, That power, she said. He looked at her. It needed to be done. That is not the answer, she said to him. He looked at her for a moment, but they were interrupted by Kakashi and Sasuke arriving on the scene. They had been quite a distance away. Back at the village, the people, they started to arrive as well. An old man made his way towards Naruto. Is it over? Yes. He won't be coming after your family anymore. Thank you. Thank you so much, he said. He cried. And Naruto felt horrible that he couldn't save her. Her name was Arai. This mission had went crazy in a matter of moments. Flashback. Reiga was an enemy that founded a group. A large group that was terrorizing these innocent people. They called themselves a family. Naruto and his team were sent here. They were supposed to investigate the threat. Yes, they were supposed to simply investigate the threat. The first day arriving here, Naruto met Arai. She was a kind, innocent girl. While most people were afraid to talk, she talked to him because he was different, not like your normal person. She had questioned him if he was here to help, if he was a ninja. He wasn't supposed to tell her, but he told her. And she told him what has been going on. 29 people had been buried alive. Reiga was a sick, twisted man who buried people and then cried, believing that it was beauty in death. So she told him everything. The mission had been to scout. So Naruto and his group started to scout as Kakashi had them split up. Yes, Kakashi had them split up into 2 teams. They were supposed to check the edges, the borders, to see just how big this family was. As they tried to locate them, it took hours. Naruto should have stayed. He should have stayed. Kakashi and the others could do that, but he believed that he could cover more ground. If he had stayed, he would have seen it. Reiga had come back. Not personally though. His name, carried by his man. They took her. They took Ariai and several others to perform a ritual to bless the gods of death. By the time he arrived, she was buried alive. Sakura had been with him. Naruto had lost it. He did not hesitate. He crushed them. Yes, Reiga was the last person left standing. He hit Naruto again and again. Naruto wanted him to suffer. He wanted him to feel pain. He wanted him to experience what she experienced in her last moment when she was fighting for breath. He wanted him to suffer. Things have been bad. Yes, since becoming a ninja. Even after killing those people that came after them. Even after doing that, Naruto and his siblings had grown and adapted, accepted what they did. But even after that, they found themselves at a loss to what the world truly was. Yes, they found themselves at a loss to what the world truly was. When they first became ninjas, they started to see what the world is, how horrible it was. Since the past 5 months, they've been on several missions, which has changed their perspective a lot. This wasn't the first time. Naruto had promised himself 3 months ago that he would never allow something like this to happen ever again if he could change it. The last time, 2 adults died because he didn't want to use his true power. Because he didn't just want it to end. The violence and chaos. He knew that his mere presence would stop it, but he didn't want to show who he was. And 2 innocent people died. And now someone who hadn't even experienced the world just yet had died because he did not stay behind, because he did not wait. He could have waited instead of scouting. He had the power to stop them, but no. He went scouting. And it was racking Naruto hard. Minato had known that he could not put all of them on a team. It's 3 children. It will look like favoritism, especially if they were trained by the best. Things changed though when Mito was able to create a massive tree from the soil. She was always in tune with nature, possessing promising adventures that may even surpass the first Hokage with the Mokidan. But that was just the start of it. So he brought Yamato in. There was 5 of them. Sakura, Sasuke, Naruto, Mito, and Menma. It was a trade-off, 2 Jonin senseis. Most of the time Menma and Mito went with Yamato. Sometimes they switch Jonin senseis, or they switch members, sometimes 2-on-1. Just like that, the teams were, well, they balance each other because the 3 siblings possess powers that are truly abnormal. Only a few people still know about their strength. As of now, it was the first time that Sakura realized just how powerful Naruto is. Sasuke had his hunches that they were stronger than they let on. from their younger years of training together and hanging out. But he lacked the true understanding of how powerful they truly were. At the very same time, we get to see Mito and Menma, as they were with Yamato at the moment. The world had a way of opening everyone's eyes. Even Mito and Menma start to see the world differently. Maybe it was because they were far stronger than most, more durable. They start to see just how fragile other people was. They were raised in an environment where everyone around them was strong. Their parents were strong, their guardians were strong, their protectors were strong, their village was strong. But they start to see how truly fragile people were. No one could be hit like them and just get back up. No one could heal in a matter of seconds. No one could operate like them, and it started to change their view on things. It started to make them understand just how dark the world truly was. At the moment, it was their job to take out the 43 bandit group members, 2 hours away from the nearest village. Yamato had watched them from the tree line. Yamato knowing what they were capable of. Menma had moved in. Fast, precise. Menma wasted no movements. A punch there, a chop there, a hit there. Mito entrance was suddenly walking. She did not rush. She allowed the plants, the trees around her to move. They shot out like vipers, restraining her opponents, binding them. The ground itself opened as a tree seemed to move it, causing them to fall down. It was like the entire forest became sentient and it was under her control. She didn't just use the forest, she commands it. Nature itself seemed to bend to her will, like it became a part of her. It took 3 minutes and 42 seconds to take care of all of them. None of them were too special. With that, Yamato arrived. He had been training them to operate solo without his intervention. They had power, but they needed to understand how to properly use it in tense situations. Something was taken by this group that they were, here to retrieve and to stop them as well. Yamato was going to do the interrogation. A few minutes later, the group had made their way to a farmhouse. It was there that one of their runners had passed off the artifact. Yamato told the others to wait outside as he stepped in. There was a reason for that. He smelt it. Mito also smelled it as well. Blood. Yamato stepped inside. What he saw horrified him. Yamato saw them. The numbers started to add up. 23 individuals. They weren't killed though, they were empty. Their skin were cracky and white, almost like someone had sucked the very life out of them. Their expression horrified and terrified. All of them in a strange position like they tried to fight but they could not. Yamato checked them as he tried to find any wounds or anything to show that they were in a battle, but he found none. What he did find though was restrained marks, like something had squeezed them, wrapping around them, something large. What could have done this, Yamato thought. He had to report this. A few miles away, a young girl simply walked. She seemed to be no older than 12 or 13 years old, maybe 14. 2 men though saw her. This area was a rather troublesome area. Bandits littered the area. She came to a stop, both of them coming down the path, pulling small daggers to intimidate her. They were here to take her, of course. She was alone, no protection. She tilted her head. Her expression kind of unnerved them because she wasn't afraid. She looked at them like they were something expendable. Bones came from her palms. Strange white-gray bones. She moved in, her speed far surpassing their knowledge to understand it. She stabbed through their guts first. She twisted her hand and broke off the bones and jumped over them. She stepped on their skulls, slamming them into the pavement. She then placed her hand at the back of their neck. Die. The bones ripped through their mouth, tearing into the ground. She ended their life without hesitation. She ended their life without even thinking of it. She just had her fill. As she just made her way off, continued to walk in. The last thing she remembered was waking up in a caravan, surrounded by men that were not unkind to her, but they did not know what to do with her. They had found her on the road unconscious. No identification. No permission to be where she was just there. The traveling merchants had brought her to an area where she could get some help. The only thing she remembered was her name, Kaguya. She didn't know why, but that was the only thing she remembered. Before that, she remembered nothing. She know things though, she know the language. She understand them. The more time she spent around the people, the more she understand their traits, understand the energy that was coursing through them. She knew how to fight, which surprised her the first time someone tried to hurt her. It was almost like her body was adapting, growing. The more time she spent around people, she adapted to their nature. She had wandered off, finding nothing at the location to truly help her. She wanted to know what her life was. Who was she? The more she explored the world, though, the more she saw the darkness of the world. The more she get to see how corrupted it was. The more she stopped holding back. She found no problem with killing. It was like a second nature. Not to mention she could drain the life out of her opponents, which gave her more power. It made her stronger. She still did not know what she was though. With her clear, unusual eyes, her long white hair, she did not look like any common person, not at all. Which made her wonder if she had any family. Time skip. The groups had returned back to the village. Kakashi's summary, Yamato's summary. After everything was given, the others were dismissed. Minato had called Naruto. "Are you okay?" he said. Knowing that it wasn't the first time that Naruto was losing people that he cared for. You see, Naruto he had a lot of empathy. He connect with people quickly. That might be a weakness for some, maybe even him. And losing those people we connect with quickly hurt him badly. Yes, Naruto said. She mattered to you. She was innocent, said Naruto. She trusted me. She asked if we were here to save her and I said yes. But I couldn't save her. That's not the same as being okay. Minato said, you're simply accepting it. You have to learn that things go bad all the time. You've been a ninja for 5 months, but you've learned the ways of a ninja for a lot longer. You have to learn that these things are common. Not everyone is as powerful as you, as special as you. The world is soft and can be broken. But it is your responsibility to push past that, to aid those that you can, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Minato saw his children as something great, knowing that their destiny was far greater than what it seems. There must be a reason why they were born this way. There must be a reason. Reiga was a criminal, he said. The decision you made was the right one, said Naruto. I know. The last time I held back. I know, said Minato, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Killing was not something that seemed to horrify Naruto anymore. It's not like he was killing people that did not deserve it. His mind started to see it that way. Minato told him to go home to get some rest. Time skip. Jiraiya was a very smart man in many different ways. He's been watching the 3 children since they were younger, knowing that they were special from their parents. When Mito had summoned that tree, she didn't mean to. It was supposed to be a normal training exercise. When she connected with nature for the first time, when she summoned a tree that was tall enough to block out the sun for the entire academy field, that was just a testament to her power. She had been surprised by what she had grown. Only the first Hokage was a true original. that could use the Mokiton. Yamato was experimented on. She was special without a doubt. However, this also served to help Minato to properly give them the development that they needed, to properly give them what they wanted. However, that wasn't the problem. The problem was how things were going. Certain changes, certain scientists started to see things that were starting to become a problem, and Jiraiya started to get onto that. More hurricanes, more tsunamis, more development, chakra pattern, solar flares. The world seemed to be going through a crisis, not at one place, all over. Recently, rain had fallen in the sand village. Rain, yes. Which made no sense. There was a strange phenomenon taking place, which was causing many disturbance and many changes. Almost like there was something that was breaching, something that was fundamentally fixating on the elemental nation. Jiraiya did not know what it was, but he was investigating. As for Menma and Naruto, while Mito was diving into the nature part of things, Naruto had. He had focused on the fundamental of the elements. He seemed to take a true shine into that. It wasn't just one chakra nature that he could study. It was all of them. Because unlike most, the chakra natures weren't something that were hard for Naruto to comprehend. And unlike most, Naruto could blend them without much hesitation. While normal people would not even dream of being able to do something like that, due to the fundamental missing properties of a Kekigenkai or bloodline, that did not hold him back in the slightest. That, along with his raw physical attributes, make him a terrifying foe. Senju's Nadi had been monitoring their development to ensure that their bodies did not suffer any lasting side effect of their growth of their chakra within their cells. The problem was it was growing a lot faster than anyone expected. No one knew what would be the result to having so much power, but the fact that they had it under control raised many questions. How would things play out in a couple years when they reach far in their prime? As for Menma, he worked on his speed, not just movement, speed of everything. Menma was trying to merge something into reality, a new bloodline, something about Swift. He was developing it on its own. Menma was trying to break the boundaries. He was trying to transmute, to move faster than thought itself. Menma wanted to see the world pause when he ran. He was developing himself to move like everything was just frozen in time. Minato had watched all three of them. They were moving into different areas, growing on their own, developing mentally and physically as well, and he was proud of them all. But he had a feeling, not a bad feeling, but just something. Time skip. The teams were once again changed. This time we have Mito, Menma, and Naruto. The three siblings, and Yamato was the one that was guiding them. The assignment was simple. 15 people had died on the eastern route. A caravan had been taken, all their goods had been stolen. The group was set out to stop the perpetrators behind this. Normally they would send someone else stronger for these missions, but most people still lacked the information that Naruto and his siblings were that strong. The group moved through the area and settled until it was nightfall. A caravan was passing through. However, screams cut them off. Yamato was the first to move in, but Yamato realized that it wasn't coming from the caravan. It was coming from the woods, where the group was that was attacking caravans. The group that has been attacking caravans were underneath the ground, a hollowed out section that had been there during the war and state period. Naruto and the others investigate as they made their way down there. The first thing they saw was a woman. The problem was her body was drained dry. Yamato raised his hand. Stop. There, Mito said, picking up on something powerful. Her sensory ability far stronger than Yamato's. But Yamato stopped all of them. There was a problem. He's seen this recently. Those 23 people that were drained dry. However, Naruto saw something, and he jumped up, despite Yamato warning, taking towards the surface. Whoever it was, they stopped immediately. Yamato raised his weapon, but what he saw was a Myakugan. Hyuga immediately, he thought, and then he saw the white hair. Naruto on the other hand stepped forward. Mito and Menma exchanged a look. Menma looked at Yamato. He does this, Menma said. Naruto tended to have a rather, close and personal observation when he looked at people. He tended to get up close to people, despite the dangers of some. But this girl, that seemed to be close to their age, she was looking at him the same way. The veins activated at the side of her eyes, confirming Yamato's theory. She was a Hyuga. But this doesn't make any sense. What was a Hyuga doing out here by herself? When the girl looked at Naruto, she was shocked. She had never seen anything like it. She had never seen anything close to it. She walked directly towards him. Her hand started to slowly move as Naruto grabbed her wrist though, before she could touch his face. They looked at each other. "What are you?" he said. Her Byakugan faded back to normal. "I don't know," she said, looking at him. "I don't know what I am." "What's your name?" She paused for a moment. "Kaguya." "Kaguya," said Naruto. "Why does that sound familiar?" It was Mito that spoke up. "The Kaguya clan from Kiri," she said. She knew quite a lot about the clans of other villages. It was something that she found intriguing. The woman Kaguya looked at her, confused by that. Menma then noticed something though. Something that had Yamato stepping forward as well. Her legs were covered in blood because she was walking through it a moment ago. Yamato immediately grabbed Naruto and pulled him back. "She's the one that killed them all," he said, pointing the kunai towards her. She was the one, there was no doubt about that. "Stay where you are," he said. She looked at him. Something in her eyes shifted, not fear. Something faster, colder. It was like a switch went off. She moved. In that moment, Yamato's life genuinely flashed in front of his eyes. It wasn't an expression. He saw everything for a second, because this girl was able to bypass his speed almost instantaneously, stopping him from even reacting as her nails extended. They became black like night. It was almost like she was about to rip through his throat. Her speed had been so far beyond his, it was like he hadn't processed the movement at all. One moment she was across from him, the next she was standing right beside him. She was going to kill him. And he was completely still, unable to defend against it. He couldn't do anything before The ground exploded in time though. Chains erupted and grabbed her hands, yanking her down to the ground, stopping her pursuit. Menma came out of nowhere and kicked her so hard that she was sent flying towards the foliage, smashing through dozens of trees, crashing and tearing through the tree line hard. Mito pulled back her chains. Their reaction time was faster. Mito slammed both of her hands on the ground and the forest came to life. It started to spam and wrap around the girl, binding her. However, she looked at the roots, and suddenly, she started to drain them dry, stripping the chakra away from them smoothly and quickly. The trees became hollow, the plants started to die. She burst out of them, and she moved, crossing the distance within a matter of seconds. Mito braced herself, but the girl blurred away in front of her vision. Did she teleport? Mito felt the kick that slammed into her back, launching her upwards. The girl then appeared mid-air and sent her through the sky. Mito flipped at least several times though as she skidded and came to a stop. She then moved towards Menma to engage him. Menma was faster though as he dodged and blocked every single one of her attacks, moving out of the way as she tried to reach him, but he dodged them all. She then did something strange. The ear itself twists. There was no jutsu, no hand signs, no structure that she was forming. The ear itself seemed to twist, bend into her whims. The very space between them started to ripple like water as it blew outwards. The force sending Menma flying towards the tree line. She then felt it. When she turned around, she saw Naruto. His siblings were on the ground. He was no longer calm. No longer that calm, careful look when he had grabbed her wrists. She spun. She kicked him in the chest, her feet still stained with blood. However, he did not move. He did not even budge. He absorbed the force of it. The only thing that happened was the ground splitting open because some of it had been directed the force downwards. As he looked at her face, he grabbed her ankle and lifted her into the sky. He then brought her down. The impact was not quiet. Yamato had to jump away. Dirt, stone, tree roots, the ground. It exploded violently. A massive shock wave as Naruto had slammed her deep within the pavement, causing a picture to open up between them. He knelt on top of her, one hand pinning her wrist to the ground, his weight keeping her in place. She looked at him, her chest heaving up and down. "You are strong," she said. She tried to drain him. She tried to pull his power out of him like the others. However, what she felt was something unending, infinite. She tried to pull harder and harder. She tried to absorb more. The energy pouring out of him was so vast. It wasn't depleting him. She just kept on pulling, almost like a cup that just kept on running over as she was dipping into the very ocean itself. He felt what she was doing and he tried to pull it back. Their power met as the both of them tried to siphon each other's power. The problem was it started to cause an unnatural effect. Space itself started to fracture between them, as the reality that they were in seemed to be shifting. Naruto felt a chilling sensation around him. They all did. The night sky, as they could see a crack, what they could see was a world with nothing but snow. A cold, chilly location. White, still and endless with snow. A place unlike anything within the elemental nation. Naruto released her when he saw that, and the fracture sealed away almost immediately. The snow was gone. The air returned back to normal. He pulled back and looked at his hands. She sat up slowly, breathing differently once again. She wasn't injured, not at all. She shifted and then smiled. It was a strange smile, not unkind, just unexpected. Like she made a decision. "I like you," she said. Naruto stared at her for a long moment. She reached up and pressed one hand against his cheek. There was no aggression in it at all. No pulling, no threat. Just one hand on his face, her pale eyes looking at his. Almost like she found something that interested her. And she did. Since she woke up, everything seemed so small and insignificant, but you're stronger than the others. Far stronger. "I want to come with you," she said. "That is not how things work," said Menma, as he dusted his sleeve off. "You just tried to kill us." "I was trying to assess whether you are worthy of surviving," she said, looking at them with a straight face. "You know that's the same thing, right?" said Mito. "I suppose you could call it that," she said. She looked at Yamato. "You're from a village. A large one, I guess. From the quality of you." She looked at his flap jacket, his headband, everything. "You said I was a Hyuga. Why?" "Your eyes. They're the Byakugan," he said to her. But she had no idea what that was. Then perhaps I belong to that clan. Perhaps you know my lineage when I do not. Her expression did not change. You will bring me back to your village. And what if I say no, said Yamato. Her expression still did not change. I will find it eventually. And when I arrive, perhaps I can conduct another assessment. Or if you bring me peacefully, I will choose to move straight forward. She opened her mouth to say something once again, but Naruto's hand placed on the back of her neck. The next moment, a violent distortion of energy, chakra, lightning tear through her. It wasn't full force. It was the precise amount to shut down her nervous system temporarily. Naruto realized that while not focusing, her body did not seem to possess the same quality of absorption, but she was still as durable. Yamato gave Naruto a blank look. Better to bring her unconscious, he said. However, she started to move already as Naruto zapped her again. We can bring her back, but she doesn't have to know where the village is as of yet. But you can see for yourself she's far too dangerous to be left out alone. Naruto looked at Yamato. The siblings seemed to share his mind. Fine, said Yamato. Let's bring her back. When they arrived, they got to the village. Minato had a very special place. A very special place within Konoha. A chamber where they could practice all sorts of terrifying experiments, testing their powers because, if it needed, they could ramp up the seals inside. This place was a very secured area, and Kaguya was placed inside. The problem was she kept on waking up along the trip and Naruto had zapped her several times. But her body did not restrain or keep any wounds or any markings at all, to show that she was indeed something extraordinary. Far beyond that, if you want to call it that. Finally, though, she woke up. Minato was notified as he arrived. The photos that Yamato had taken of the farmhouse. The images showing the corpse's husk. Were you responsible for these? She looked at the photographs. Yes, she said without flinching. Why? Why what? She said. Why did you do this to them? She considered that question, realizing that these people seemed to thrive on some kind of betterment, being the step above, being the protectors, being the heroes. She was smart enough to understand that about these people. I had to feed. The feeding is a need. I don't choose it. It simply happens when I require it. As for why those people specifically, they killed other peoples, several of them quite recently. If you need to frame it in terms of goodness, I was a good one in that situation. That is not how things work, said Minato. I suppose, she said. I do not know why I do it beyond the need. I am not sure what I am, she said. I do not know where I came from or what my purpose is, or if I even have one. She was being honest. I just want to know where I belong. The one who brought you here. He's yours, she said, cutting him off. I can tell. He's my son, said Minato. Her face went through several different emotions in that moment. Settling on one, comfort. I like him. He's strong. He's very strong. The others I've encountered, the other two, they're strong as well. But he's different. He's a step above the rest. You will not go near my son. I mean him no harm. I mean none of you any harm. I no longer feel the need to feed, since absorbing his power. It's almost like an endless source, which can keep me from doing bad things. I need answers, and I believe I can find them here. To show you that I mean no harm, she said as she got up. All the seals burning off her skin. No, they were being absorbed. These scribbles are doing nothing, she said. Minato took a step back. I could leave whenever I feel like, she said. This place cannot hold me. You cannot hold me. Minato looked at her for a long moment. What the hell was she? Meanwhile, Naruto was in deep thought. You're thinking about that girl, aren't you? Said Mito. Yeah, said Naruto. What's so special about her? Mito said. I don't know. He turned his hand over. When our power connected, I felt something. Like, it's hard to explain. Naruto said, looking at his hands. I mean, think about it. When has anyone our own age actually kept up with us? Mito was quiet. Not to mention, you guys hit her, he said, and she walked through it. I did get her with my chains. And the Mokiton as well. She has the Byakugan, a voice said from above as Menma was in the tree. He was there the entire time. Maybe she's like us, but she can develop bloodlines, similar to you, Menma said, looking at Naruto. Visual ones, that is. That is not something that you can do. No, said Naruto. But she seemed to be our age. That can't be a coincidence. Someone that powerful. Just like us, said Naruto. We've been a ninja for a couple of months now. Father, Jiraiya-san, everyone that we know so far told us that. They'd never seen anyone like us before. But she is a living proof that she might be just like us. But what does it mean? Moments later, envoys arrive, calling them back to return. When Naruto arrived, he was surprised to see Kaguya there. You let her out. Minato pulled Naruto aside. The seals can't hold her. Her body absorbs them, similar like yours. I think she's similar to you guys. We have the same query, said Naruto. She promised not to get in any trouble if you show her around. Tell me something. Can you stop her? Naruto glanced towards her for a moment. Yes, he said without hesitation. Okay, I want you to take her and show her around the village. She offered up some of her chakra. I have it in a seal. We're going to test it to try and understand what she is. Keep an eye on her. Nothing important, okay? Naruto nodded. Kaguya had never been inside of a village like this before. She's passed through smaller villages, but this was something else entirely. She processed things differently than normal people. Like she was cataloging and taking in everything. Almost like she was experiencing the world for the first time in a way that was scientific. She walked very close to Naruto, as Naruto noticed her momentum every single time. The buildings. What happened inside of them? She started to point. Ninja supply. And that one? A medical ward. And that? They serve food over there. Ramen, to be quite exact. The smell. It's good, she said. It's the best, Naruto said to her. You eat there often, she questioned. Most of the time, Naruto said. I want to try some. They brought her to get a few bowls. She took the first taste of it, and her eyes lit up. Another, 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 another. The three of them looked at her. Even the owner, Toki, looked at her. Naruto had to wonder where the hell was she putting it. She seemed to have no end. But at the end of it though, after a few dozen bowls, he was left with the bill. She's your responsibility, Menma said. Since when? You've taken an interest in her. Fine, Naruto grumbled as he paid for the meal. Naruto wasn't going to show her the clan grounds. But she ventured off as Naruto tried to stop her, but she sensed them before she saw them. Those people, they're like me. She felt them. She could feel the differences in their chakra. She made her way towards the gates and the other Hyugas saw her. Confusion crossed their face. Moments later, all of them were escorted inside. Hayashi Hyuga, the leader of the Hyugas, scanned her with his own byakugan. Her eyes were pure. It seemed different completely from theirs, despite it being the byakugan. It seemed stronger. The fact that she was a child, this did not make any sense. When he looked at her chakra though, he could barely understand it. It seemed to have fluctuations, it seemed to have markings, different genetical coding that doesn't make any sense. No chakra is like that, unlike Naruto and the others. She did not suppress her power. Naruto, Menma, and Mito could suppress their chakra on the inside very well. So even when Hyugas or sensors tried to understand them, they saw nothing special. They did this on a constant. It became like a second nature for them to not give away what they can truly do. These eyes, they're not merely byakugan. They're something original. He tried the best words to say, as he's never encountered something like this before. I do not understand what that means, she said. Neither do I. Not as yet. You will remain here, he said. These eyes you carry seem to have a greater connection with our clan than anything else. No. What? Hayashi said. You don't understand. I understand you want to study me. However, the more time I spend here with him, she said, glancing towards Naruto, the more time I start to find a purpose. I believe I'm starting to understand who I am or what I am. Maybe I'll learn that on the way. But as you said, you don't know what I am, and judging from the others, you've never seen me before. Thus, you have nothing to give me, she said. This is not a request, Hayashi said. You are The ground exploded. Her power fluctuated and blasted Hayashi back. It blasted him across the room. Luckily though, Menma had stopped the man from slamming into the wall, startling Hayashi by the boy's speed, and by this girl that seemed to possess power to force him back with just a gaze alone. Enough, Naruto said, looking at her. You were told not to do anything stupid. Her power immediately suppressed. Okay, she said. Naruto apologized, but they had to leave. Hayashi was left stunned and also embarrassed as well. While they walked the village, Minato had the chakra analyzed. The chakra was old. The patterns in it were old and ancient, almost seemed to predate any knowledge that they currently have. Thus, they couldn't understand it. They couldn't link it to anything because nothing was that old. He remembered, I think she's like us. But that couldn't be. But maybe she was connected to them in a deeper way. Her age lined up. Minato had no idea what the hell was going on. None of this was making any sense. Who was this girl? What did it mean for his children? Mito pulled Kaguya aside as Naruto was talking with Menma about what happened at the Hyuga grounds. My brother sees the good in people. Something I love about him. But it also makes him a bit too trusting for his own good. If you're getting close to him because you want to hurt him or something, Mito stepped forward. I can promise you this. I will kill you. Kaguya looked at her. I've met people like you, the protective ones. But your threat, it doesn't scare me. You've shown me your strength. You are strong. But your threat doesn't scare me. I decide what I want to do. And your brother. She gazed towards Naruto. You don't have to worry. I do not mean him any harm. In fact, I think he will be the one to give my life purpose. I cannot explain it, but I'm drawn to him in a way that I myself don't even understand. Say what you want, but I'll be watching you, Mito said. Do what you must. She stayed. Hayashi had immediately went to the Hokage to have a discussion. She was not planning on leaving anytime soon. She stayed close to Naruto. She stayed and she followed him, trying to understand him, believing that it will help her understand herself. And the more time passed, the more intrigued Naruto get about her. Far away though, we get to see that woman again. Light blue hair, the one that was watching that colony burn. She wasn't anywhere near the elemental nation. What she was looking at though was a photograph, carefully put together. It seemed to be drawn in a way that was not done by a camera. The woman on the photograph though was older, but there was no doubt in it was Kaguya. But older, not as a child. She immediately placed the photograph away in a sealed container and locked it behind the frame. Someone arrived at the door. Are you ready? Yes, she said. Her eyes, the same as Kaguya, pure, old, powerful. Whatever Kaguya was, it was definitely not normal. Not in the slightest. But guys, the ends episode right here. If you want to see the next part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share this with all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm over now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.